speech, and for those of you who are new to Toastmasters, the very first speech is always what is called the Icebreaker. The Icebreaker is a speech, it's a speech where the new Toastmaster introduces herself to the club and kind of get a feel for who she is. And I'm very excited because I know she signed up to give the speech a week or two ago and it kind of didn't work out. So today is our special day. So I'm very excited to welcome Danielle and how do you say her last name? Miranda. Please welcome Danielle Miranda with her presentation speech.
Change the plan, but never the goal. This is something that when I was first thinking about what I wanted to present for today, it's something I had written on the wall of my cube, and it's something that has resonated with me, is to be flexible in life, to have goals, and things may not always work out as you originally planned, but just continue to try to do it. I grew up in Lorain, Ohio, a modest family. My dad worked at the steel mill, my mom was a secretary. My parents divorced when I was 5. I spent a lot of time with my aunt and uncle in Buffalo, New York during the summer. And it was my uncle who first planted the seed to have bigger goals for myself and what I saw around me. He talked to me a lot about the value of education and what it was that I wanted to do when I grew up. In fact, when I was in high school, my cousin from Buffalo found out that I was having trouble with chemistry and I was getting ready for my finals. So he drove from Buffalo to Ohio to help me get ready for that final. At the time, what was cool about it was that he drove a white Corvette. And so I begged him to take me to school in the morning and pick me up at school so that I could be seen in that Corvette. But looking back as an adult, I think what was important was the fact that my aunt and uncle and cousin valued education so much for me that they were willing to have him drive there to help me get ready for that final. In fact, when I was a senior in high school, he was getting ready to go to grad school and was looking for colleges. So he drove down to Ohio and we went around all the different universities in Ohio. He ended up going to Ohio State, and I went to the University of Akron. Took me 6 years to get my degree. I switched around a few times, didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do, but I did graduate in 6 years. I paid for my own schooling, and I was the first on my father's side to get an education, so it was a big deal for me. It was my first job that my boss suggested that I join Toastmasters. Thought that it would help me with my career, especially early in it, to help be able to speak better and just in general. I didn't do that, but they did automatically, I don't know. Maybe they'll forget about it. There was a workshop at work for giving speeches, and I did do that. I signed up for it, and I think it was 2 or 3 days. But on the final day, you had to give a speech on where you're demonstrating something. And I thought I was going to give it on how to invest in the stock market. It was something that I had learned about in school. I had done it a little bit. I thought it was something fun to share with people. I got up there to give my speech, and suddenly I realized everybody in the room at the time was older than I am, and I felt like they already knew what I was talking about, and I got very intimidated by them. And I flustered, and they recorded it. I never watched the recording. I think I have it somewhere on tape. So the thought of joining a club where you're giving speeches wasn't something that was in the cards for that time. I started working at American Greetings. More recently, I worked in QSR where we manage the inventory in the stores. So we're helping the field to correct issues that might happen, how to prevent them from happening. So I found myself on phone calls, store visits, during regional meetings where I had to present information to them. And I kind of liked it. It was something that I got positive feedback when I did it, and I enjoyed it. I had several mentors in the department that I could kind of mimic after, and what they did was shared stories or gave examples, and that was the easiest way to explain something to them because people could relate to that, and it would open up the dialogue. I currently work in the sales organization as a manager of learning and development, and I find that I'm in a lot of meetings where we're trying to open up conversations with different departments to kind of help the sales organization. We work with a lot of different departments, and so it's important that we have those relationships, that we have those conversations. And I'm in meetings with people that are much higher levels than I am, and I find that it's difficult for me to speak off the cusp or assert my opinions on things. And in the back of my mind, I remember my first boss that said that I should join Toastmasters. So that's when I decided to come look at Toastmasters and came to my first meeting. And what I found so great about it is that you don't have to be a natural speaker. It's something that can be mentored and learned. And it's been awesome learning and hearing all of your stories. You have some of the same insecurities that I do, and it's not always easy, and you're very encouraging. So I'm excited to be here.